this is like the third Muskoka beer we've done, and I got a Muskoka glass somewhere.
Oh, hey, Nick, do you like Muskoka beer? Are we going to do Muskoka beer
Muskoka's okay, I guess. You know what? This is, to be fair, the first Muskoka beer we've done this year.
There we go.
Anyway, hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Beer Analysis.
Jesus.
Glassware Star. Who did that? Oh, it's kind of lately. Alrighty. Anyway, tonight we're going to do a beer from Muskoka. We're gonna do the other winter beer, just because this one finally showed up in Ontario. This is Muskoka's new winter beard stout series, Nitro Latte Stout. I'm assuming this means like in years to come they'll be coming in with a stout variants of this new winter beer. Like as we all know, the winter beard is like the double chocolate cranberry stout, in which we reviewed about 3 weeks back. Anyway, we'll get into the history on this thing soon. But first and foremost, I want to introduce who we have with us, starting with Nitro Beard. How you doing tonight, Carrie?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm good. Let's see that glorious cascade on that beer. Oh yeah, that's the stuff that Jizz is made of.
The cascade is the only thing I am generally a fan of when it comes to Nitro beers. So
yeah, that's like one of the biggest things cascade. I love about beers like this is the look, and of course spilling it over the edge of your glass. All right, thank you, Red Beard.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! And Happy New Year, Greg.
Hi,
Greg.
New Year to you, Nick.
Ooh,
that's right.
All right, how you doing this year so far?
Sorry?
How's this year treating you so far?
No major complaints. This is my second beer of the year so far. I'm being like one of those healthy boys for my New Year's resolution. Really? And then next week I'll go back and just drinking eight beers a day, because why not?
All right, well, there you go.
But yeah, otherwise I'm good. How are you, Nick?
Not too bad.
Wait, Lady Lee has to tell us how she's doing first, Nick. Don't interrupt.
Well, she did show up last, so I'm going to her last. But hi, Lady Lee, and how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome.
It is a good night.
Well, let's make this night even better with drinking some beers.
Someone got some lobster.
No, not yet.
Lobster tail.
One day.
Alrighty. So let's move it back over to me, and I'll go to the beer history on this thing. So Muskoka Winter Beard's Nitro Latte Stout. Don't really have to talk about Muskoka too much. We've talked about them, 3 times in the last 24 days, last month or so. We've already covered Muskoka on this channel, so we don't have to give too much detail other than say that Muskoka Cottage Brewery was opened in Bracebridge, Ontario on June 15th, 1996 by Gary McMullen and Kirby Evans, first launching their cream ale that is still made today. Kirby died the following January. It's kind of sad. But Gary carried on his memory and the brewery, and Muskoka's cream ale will go on and win gold in 1996 Canadian Brewing Awards. Following this, Gary was joined to Muskoka by cottager and businessman Bob McDonald in 2008, adding some much-needed investment into the brewery and leading to a period of expansion, going from 10 employees to 110 by 2016. Opening a new brewery in 2012 to handle the increase in production. Today, Muskoka's beer is available in all provinces of Canada except for Quebec. I have no idea why they're not in Quebec. There is a lot of really good beer coming out of Quebec. Maybe it's just they can't get in because it's all coming out. It's like reverse osmosis when it comes to beer. All right, so Muskoka introduced the original Winter Beard in 2010, which was, of course, as I mentioned, it was a cranberry imperial stout. Although later they called it a double stout, they've brewed that every year since. They had like one variation where they had like Winter Jack, I think, where it was like a barrel aged version of it in Jack Daniel's barrels. That came out in 2013, and I think maybe they made that for a few years.
I think they've done 2 or 3 iterations of it, and I've never tried any of them, and I'm sad.
Yeah, we haven't done that on this channel, but.
No, it's always been very difficult to get, like brewery only type thing.
Yeah, and they're right up in the country. So anyway, 12 years later, to continue on the legacy of Winter Beard, which they've turned this into a craft stout series, which is the first variant of. This is their Nitro Latte Stout. So this was released in October. Winter Beard Nitro Latte Stout is a 4.5% ABV, 19 IBU coffee stout, coffee flavored stout, brewed with espresso beans from Muskoka Roastery, milk, sugar, and nitrogenated for a creamy, rich mouthfeel. Muskoka also mentions to give their beer a gentle shake first and then pour it hard in your glass. And right now, I think I'm the only one that has not poured this beer. Yep. So yeah, that's one thing I actually did mention on their site was the fact that it's got lactose in it, which of course, latte, they were going on. It's like, oh, it's just like a latte because you're pouring it like nitro into a glass. I'm like, sure. No, they added lactose sugar, so I'm really quite surprised that Dan's not here tonight.
Well, Dan's not a good friend.
While I pour my gorgeous beer, anybody want to read the comments? Because we've actually got 3 viewers in there and 5 viewers total. So anybody who's watching right now, let us know in the comments what you're drinking. I already see what Lee Russell's drinking, but
read them up.
All right. Beardo.
Drinking an orange creamsicle flavored slushy as I watch this travesty. My impending diabetes demands entertainment.
Fair enough.
At least you're feeding the diabetes, I guess. Cheers, Beers for Days, and cheers, PA Brew News. Drinking some Trogs, a Nugget Nectar, New Trail Snow Angel Double IPAs, and a 2022 Goose Island Bourbon County. Is it Bourbon County Barrel Stout? Or just...
I think it's Bourbon County Brand Stout.
Okay.
Yeah, Bourbon County Brand Stout, I think is what it is.
12 years.
He's got like 3 beers on the go. It's like, wow, settle down, Paul.
Well, that's Paul for you.
Jesus. Yeah, cheers, Paul. If you're around after this, feel free to hang out and stuff and things. Could be fun.
All right. And so, yeah, he said it was going to be a bit thin and underwhelming. That pretty much goes for this entire panel, except for me. Well, I suppose Lady Lee's not underwhelming.
You all feed my impending diabetes because you're all so sweet. Aww. Thank you, Lee Russell.
Aw. You almost make me need one of those insulin pens or whatever.
I'm gonna send him a lollipop when he has to have one of his legs.
Lollipop. I'll give you something to suck on. Anyway.
Wow. Jeez, Nick.
Jesus.
Made it sexual.
Yeah. All right. So 2 4-packs, 2 4-packs, and a BCBS. 4-pack of BCBS. That'd be cool.
No, he says Bourbon County.
Wasn't like I know that like Bourbon County now is such a special beer. It's like I think it was like the one I still have it from 2021, but I think it was like one bottle was like $20 some here, which I'm willing to bet is Canada jacking up the prices. But like 10 years ago, Average Joe sent me a bottle of Bourbon County, and I kind of was under the impression that it was like sold in like a 4-pack or something at the time.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they still sell it now in 4-packs, but Joe sent out the small bottles, but typically in Canada we get them in the big bottles, so they're I think they're $26 a bottle in Ontario, and they bring in like 500 of them for the province, so they sell out pretty quickly. Like, it's kind of dumb, and the thing is, it's a shelf turd in the U.S. Like some of the variants are hard to get, but the regular Bourbon County is a shelf turd. Like when it's released, go out and buy it wherever you want. All your stores have it.
But here it's like some like friggin' exotic that people want to kill their grandma to get.
The problem with Canada in general is why don't you just bring this beer? And we don't bring a lot of U.S. beers in,
Yeah, like the only time it showed up here, there were only 3 stores in New Brunswick that carried it, and each store only got 50 bottles, and you could only get 1 bottle per person. And I had to go in like 10 in the morning to get a bottle, and I think there's only like 1 bottle left after me. So I mean, I got lucky, but it's like it's great beer, but I mean it's not like it's as exotic as they're kind of making it sound. Like, I remember when Double Tempest came in and that sat on the shelf for a couple of weeks. I'm like, that one is a lot better. I mean, I guess that Bourbon County is really good, I guess.
Well, it's a solid beer. It just
I shouldn't say
no
it's a
reason for
lot
it to be
better,
that difficult to get in Canada. Like, just fucking bring in as a regular release. And
totally. Yeah, it should be a regular release thing here, and just like that, and
it'd be
KBS
nice to get one of the
well.
variants too. But
even Founders KBS, we should have up here.
They did have that for a while, and then they had the CBS for a while as well, but not anymore. They have Backwards Bastard again. I'm not sure if that I think that was hard to get
at the LCBO Backwards Bastard.
Yeah, they got Backwards Bastard at the Loose Bowl again. I thought that they used to carry that, and I don't think I've seen it for a while.
All right. Anyway, now we had some discussion, and we've gone around. Let's go around to everybody and ask, what's your history with this beer?
I had a can.
Is this your first can or is your second can?
No, I had a can.
You had a can? Was it?
I had a previous can.
I had a can, and now I'm having this can.
All right.
What else? I don't know what you want. That's it. That's my history.
All right, let's go to Greg.
I've got even less history. I'm having this can and have not had any previous can. And then I've got some history with Muskoka Winter Beard and other Muskoka products, but you don't care about that. So yeah, this is my history.
It's all
we care. We do care, Greg. We care around here.
Yeah, and copy and paste my thing from another Muskoka review.
Right. All right. So while Lady stepped out, I'm going to go up on screen and say my history with this. This actually showed up here earlier than everybody else has. Who here's got. I'm kind of curious to hear what your guys' canning dates are. Mine says freshest by March 22nd, 2023.
Let's have a look here.
What's your cans say? Because we got this here like a whole month before you guys did.
May 2022.
Yeah.
May 22, 2023. Sorry.
Weird. It's like the initial canning run of this beer. Like mine's from March, fresh by March. It seems like that was allocated in New Brunswick or something. Or I think New Brunswick and Nova Scotia both got this, and now it's sold out in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. I don't even think it's listed on an ANBL site anymore because once they get rid of everything, they take it off the site. But yeah, like it was here for the Christmas season and it left, and then I still had one can in my fridge. I'm like, maybe I'll keep it just in case it does show up. And sorry, I'm distracted by the hockey game behind me.
Jesus, Nick. You are literally the worst professional of all time.
Sorry. Anyway, no, it's just third period starting. Anyway, so to continue my thought, it showed up in Ontario like well after. Like I was actually pretty sure you guys weren't going to get it for some reason. I just thought it was stupid because it's a fucking Muskoka beer. You should always get it. Whatever. So yeah, my can is 2 months older than yours. Okay, so Lady Lee is back. Let's go back to her and see. Hi, what's your history with this beer?
This specific beer, I've never had it, so it's brand spanking new to me. That's it. That's the story.
That pretty much covers everybody. Like, yeah, like I think I don't even think I finished my spiel where. This showed up 2 months before everybody else. I bought 2 cans of it, so I have this can, drank it, and then drank one, and then now I'm drinking this one on the show. That's my history. It's not very extensive. Lee's criticizing my. It's like, well, Lee, why don't you start hosting it again if you're so picky?
That's true. He did abandon ship.
Yep. Anyway. All right, so that's our histories. I guess back to shoot the shit talk again. Now was a good time where we could have actually talked about Bourbon County Stout instead of. Oh well, it's not like this is an Oscar-winning series.
Hi, baby.
Well, his words, not mine. There's actually been a couple of times where I've sat down and like re-listened to the BA 101s, and there's been a few episodes where I'm like, this is actually a really interesting show sometimes. Like, just to listen to like the history and everybody talk about their thoughts and be all serious about it.
Greg's in the chat. He's never serious.
It's a serious show, Nick. We take beer very seriously.
Anyway.
So are we ready for our final thought?
I feel like he's distracted.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I've got got the glass side of my computer case right here, and it's reflecting my television behind me.
Nick, so turn off your TV for 15 minutes and we'll be done.
Yeah, you know what? We could actually go back around and just get everybody's final thoughts because I don't think there's really much to say about this. Yeah. So let's start with Carrie.
It's like the quickest episode.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they accidentally dumped a bunch of coffee into a batch of Winter Beard. And they're like, yeah, it'll be fine. You know, it diluted it, hence the low ABV. Wasn't a whole lot of coffee, hence the muted flavors. And it made it flat. So they went, we'll put nitro in there. This beer's dumb. And it doesn't make sense to me why they'd even go with the Winter Beard. Like, Winter Beard's actually a pretty decent stout, in my opinion. This is, aside from stealing the name, like, now it's a series, I guess.
They steal their own name.
It just doesn't make sense to me why they do that. And it's not like, I guess maybe it's a bit better than Guinness. I hate Guinness personally. I just nitro beers in general, not a fan. Style, I don't know, fucking 4. Enjoyment, 4.5. It has a little bit of a decent chocolatey thing going on. No, this sucks.
Oh, that's your opinion.
It is my opinion. You're completely welcome to now disagree.
Oh yeah, I know. We will. All right. Some of this will anyway. Let's see if Craig agrees.
I disagree with Carrie. Actually, that's not true. I agree with Carrie about the beer in general. I disagree with kind of some of his reasoning, but that's fine. Different palates. I find this beer doesn't have enough coffee. It just has too much goddamn sweetness to it. Like, I feel like the diabetes is creeping into my brain right now. I'm sure that's medically accurate. But yeah, this beer is just like, I'm actually legitimately getting a stomach ache from this beer. I'm having to sip it kind of slowly because, it is just sickeningly sweet.
Didn't mention, like, it doesn't really, I'm okay with it, but it is stupid sweet. I will fully agree with you on that.
Like, I mean, okay, fair enough. It's a dessert beer, but I mean, even for a dessert beer, this one's pushing it a little bit. And I mean, there's definitely coffee there, but I wish there was more of the coffee and less of this goddamn sugar. And I mean, I do generally like nitro beers. I think they're a bit gimmicky, but I'll enjoy Guinness once a year at St. Patrick's Day because that's what people do. And I enjoy that. I don't mind some of the other craft ones, but this is. I mean, first, it doesn't even have a widget, so it's not really. Is it even really nitro?
Yeah, they failed there. Like, is there even a thing inside it?
No, I don't think there is. No, I don't. I think they just added the nitro and just said, all right, when you pour a little nitro, it'll come out.
That's what New Ontario did with their stupid nitro beer they made.
Yeah, I guess it costs extra money to add that widget to the cans, but I mean, I'll say the body of the beer is not as thin as I'd expect. It's not a thick beer by any means, but it's not as thin as I'd expect for a 4.5% beer.
Oh, wow.
If you like really sweet stuff, like Dan would probably like this because he's got that ultra sweet tooth. But no, for me, this is legitimately actually making me sick. Like, I may have to put this away I won't drain pour it because I don't do that, but I may have to just take a break from it. So yeah, I mean, in terms of style, what are we calling this? A light flavored stout. I mean, I can't go too hard on stout because I do think it is kind of hitting the flavors that they kind of claim it is, because a latte is kind of a gross sweet thing to begin with. So I kind of think they're not that far off with that. So for style, I'll give it a nice, I'll give it a 6. I'm going to be a little generous on the style because, quite frankly, as a beer, personal enjoyment, I'm going to go with like a 3 on it. It's right on the borderline of undrinkable for me because
Nice.
it's just too sweet and it's legitimately making me feel sick. And if it's I'll probably finish this and I'll never buy this again unless we re-anal it. But yeah, it's right on that borderline of undrinkable.
Yikes.
The only reason I did drink 2 is because I bought one for this purpose, and the one night I accidentally cracked it open thinking it was the actual Winter Beard, and I was like, what the hell is going on? God damn it. So I made sure and bought myself another one, but yeah.
Now, I will say I'm not a big fan of the regular Winter Beard, but it is much better than this.
Yeah, it's not amazing, but it's decent. It's chocolatey, it's cranberry, it's okay. This is an abomination.
It's more abomination.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Let's have Lady Lee follow that up. See what she says.
So I always complain about how much I hate coffee, unless it's like insanely sweet. This is like my level of sweet of my enjoyment of coffee. Like literally, this is it. Like this is how much sugar you have to put in it for me to enjoy coffee.
Is there even like a consistency left if you put that much sugar into coffee? Like how much
that's
sugar?
The reason I just don't drink coffee.
That's
like,
what it is.
I don't bother with it because I have to put so much sugar in it in order to enjoy it. So I never bother with coffee. So this is how much sugar I would need in my coffee. So when Greg was saying how it makes him sick to the stomach, I was like, I can drink this. Like this is coffee I actually like. It doesn't have that bitterness that normally I don't enjoy with stouts as well. So I think as much as you guys really hate it, this is like a really good beginner stout. Like this is really good for anybody who can't handle any darker beers because it's a little bit sweeter and it takes away that bitterness away. So for the style, it kind of shits the bed because it is a stout, but it doesn't have that like same mouthfeel as a stout normally does. Like Greg said, it's a little bit on the thin side. Like it's still like thicker than your regular beer, but it's not like I expect more from a stout. This is literally a beginner stout. This is the best way I'm going to explain it.
This is for someone who wants, like, Guinness is a huge company. Muskoka's a bit more of a craft brewery. You know what I mean? You want to drink a Guinness-like beer, but support more local. Drink this one, I guess.
But I don't drink Guinness. Like I can't stand Guinness. This I can drink. That's what I'm saying. Like anybody who doesn't drink beer like me and kind of needs an introduction to a stout where there's still that flavor, but it's not as like heavy on that like yeasty taste. Like you don't get that like harshness to you. Because every time I have it, like the ones that you guys love, I literally just taste yeast. And this is like the first time where I've had one where I'm like, oh, I taste flavors. So style-wise, I'm going to go pretty low because I'm enjoying it. I know it's a shitty stout. Like that's that's pretty much it. But style,
I wouldn't necessarily say that's true, but okay.
I don't think I've ever enjoyed a stout. Like
well, yeah, but just because you don't like, just because you're enjoying this one doesn't mean it's necessarily a shitty stout per se.
It usually just means because it's missing the characteristics that make like a stout taste like a stout. That's what I mean.
I kind of
like,
wish Dan was here because I do think Dan would like this beer. But
I think so. Honestly, I think so too because it is sweeter. So he likes the sweeter beers for sure. All right, whatever. On average, usually if I like a stout, it's usually not good for style. Anyways, for style. I'm going to agree with Greg. I'm going to give it a 6 because it's still like it has that coffee flavor to it. And like it says a latte, so it's an extra sweet coffee. So yeah, I'm going to agree with that. For a personal preference, I'm going to lean the other way because I've been just drinking this like it's water. Like it's been going down way too smooth. So I'm going to give it an 8 because it has that perfect, ridiculously stupid, sweet coffee taste that I love. I will only drink coffee that way. Yeah.
You know what's
Nice.
funny is that used to be me, like in my teens. That was how I did, where I'd literally have a cup of coffee, like 8 cubes of sugar, milk, and that was the only way I drank it. And now I drink my coffee black. I cannot drink the sugar way. It makes me sick.
I just never liked coffee. I never enjoyed it, never got into it. And every time anytime someone bought you coffee, I'd be like loading it with sugar so I'd be able to drink it. So it just, why would I buy coffee if I have to load it with like way too much fucking sugar?
Dan's in the chat saying you rang. Somebody said
it kind of reminds me of like
lactose sugar.
It kind of reminds me of like a less sweet ice cap.
A wild Diabetes has arrived.
Yeah, you're right.
Actually,
yeah, and I remember those days, like ice caps or get a Tim Hortons triple the only way to like coffee or something. Like then I actually developed a taste for coffee. Kind of like anyway. All right, so thank you, Lady Lee. I might as well let me start talking and just to say that they disallowed the U.S. goal, so it's still 4-2 as far as I can see.
Oh man, I'm so upset.
Broken up. Anyway, so that's for anybody who's watching. Who cares? All right. So speaking of people who care, I don't know. I feel like I care about this beer a little bit more than some people. Like, when it comes to the style, I feel like I'm disappointed in the level of nitro. Like as soon as you pour it, pretty much it goes like flat and like all the nitro disappears from it really quickly. Like at least with like a Murphy's or a Guinness or something, like the nitro tends to. Anything with the widget in the can tends to have the nitro stick around for a lot longer in the beer, I feel. Whereas in this case, it's just like it's funneling a little on the flat side, so it's okay. Saying on the other hand, like what is this beer outside of having nitro in it? Well, it's a coffee milk stout. So I keep thinking about some milk stout with coffee in it. Kind of tastes like it's got that super sweet but not cloyingly sweet the chocolate. I'm not getting like the headache like Greg's getting, but I do notice that this beer is pretty sweet. On top of that, I am getting some like coffee taste. I actually had a chance to try Muskoka Roasters at one point. I ordered some of their stuff off of Amazon once, and it's good, nice, mellow coffee. But it's not like the most powerful note in this thing here. Like I'm getting into this, I'm getting like chocolate syrup, coffee roast, bready chocolate malts. It's almost reminds me of like Cocoa Puff cereal. It has a little bit of a berry astringency to it. So it's almost like a little like a berry kind of note in the sweetness and in the finish. It disappears into this ashy, roasty, mild, sweet finish at the end of it. I also find like it just seems to disappear after like a couple of just minutes of sitting there. It's almost like my throat's dry. So it really reminds me of another beer I have sitting on my desk as I was going to drink this next. It reminds me of Young's Double Chocolate Stout a bit, but with coffee and lactose sugars added. So, but that's another one I kind of like too. So, but I'm going to give this for style. I mean, when you compare this to other like nitro beers or coffee beers, it's not bad for like a nitro stout. Sorry, it's not bad for a milk stout, but when you compare to like what is it supposed to be, nitro coffee, not a whole lot of coffee, not a whole lot of nitro, and it's just meh when it comes to milk stouts. So it's just like 6.5 to style, but I'm actually enjoying it. I'm going to give it a 7 for overall enjoyment, which is second highest here, because just like Lady Lee, this is going out pretty smooth.
I finally beat Greg at finishing a beer.
Just like Lady Lee, this is going down pretty smooth.
I heard the same thing. I think Nick's being a dirty boy.
Well, Lady Lee was talking about how she was.
That doesn't negate the fact that the last part of what you said just really sounded funny.
Just like Lady Lee.
I understood it. I understood as him like saying the same thing I did. So
yeah.
You guys have the dirty mind.
Well, I've got the Greg filter, and evidently Carrie's also using the Greg filter.
The Greg filter.
I've got the Grammar Gestapo filter, so I hear weird things.
Filter queen.
I don't know.
All right, yeah, like just like Lady Lee is drinking it like water. I'm drinking it. It's like, look, I'm gone right now.
This goes down better than Nick does.
I'm not gonna lie, like it. I've got a sip left. I'm also done, but it doesn't mean I liked it.
Oh, it goes down smooth. I mean that part is true. It is. If
Like,
you
again, like
enjoy the flavor, you can drink it very quickly.
Like they like again, like they had. I don't know if you've been to Muskoka Brewery. Their tanks are like 3 stories ish high. It's huge. Like they are one of the biggest craft breweries I've ever seen. But I feel like, yeah, again, like somebody was on top doing some work, tripped, and dumped like maybe 4 or 5 Timmy's double doubles in there or something. Like the coffee's there, but it is so muted.
I just find it funny. Why is he on top of the thing carrying a bunch of Tim's double doubles?
You never know, man. Well, you never know. They're doing some maintenance up there, and he was bringing some coffee to his buddies. Oh shit! Oh, it's in the beer. Oh no!
Oh shit! I just slipped and jumped the Tim's coffee order right into the fermenter, even though that would be diluted by hundreds and hundreds of gallons.
Hence the taste of coffee in this beer, in my opinion. It's barely there. I get more of a chocolatey vanilla weirdness.
Well, after next month's accident, I hope we can all enjoy the Winter Beard PP Stout.
Winter Beard PP Stout. All right. So while I do the math, anybody want to read comments?
I think Carrie's on that.
Yeah. All right. There's a. Even though you're randomly picking and choosing and bringing them out and stuff, and where the hell was
they're relevant to the current conversation, so I see them.
I think it was somewhere around the Paul threw up in his mouth, but he swallowed it, so it's okay.
That sounds about right.
And Lee gave him props, and then Bubba Sadie's cheers. One of you might be a hoarder. The camera doesn't lie. And Paul said he got the beers for $8.99 a bottle. Back in the day, they used to be 12-ounce bottles. And Male Lee says Lady Lee is a well-organized hoarder, but she is a hoarder. Paul says he's got a 60-ounce bottle now. Like any beer, all releases vary in quantity. That was Lee bitching about hockey. And the show sucked when he hosted it too, asking the magical question, what is next week's beer?
All right.
Apparently, Simpson style Male Lee is next week's beer, but then he counters that Simpson style Lady Lee is next week's beer.
This is brutal.
And then Dan rang and stuff, and Nick has been canceled because he's a sexist pig.
I mean, that part's true. And Dan showed up because there was lactose mentioned. So,
not a hoarder. That's just my board games, and then the bins on the bottom are stuff that I'm getting rid of. So they're just at the front door because it's easier. But thank you.
There we go. A hoarder telling you she's not a hoarder.
It does almost look like you're broadcasting from just a warehouse or something right now, like the board games and or as a storage locker, maybe.
Well, to be fair, if I broadcasted from that side of the basement, you'd all think I'm a hoarder too, because we still have so many boxes.
That's the cook for the jackets.
That's great.
And that's both. There's 3 of us living there. And then my bookshelf has my board games. And
if I had like behind me super lit up where all of my shit that I'm trying to sort through is, it's there you go, Lately. Darkness behind you is your friend. No one will accuse you.
I don't know how anywhere to put my laptop. I don't have a lot of space. There's 3 of us living in a 2-bedroom apartment.
I'm just joking.
All righty. So Red Beer is presenting the latest evening news here, which is you could present the ratings, considering you were responsible for bringing them down.
Well, considering that 2 of us kind of really killed the beer, it overall didn't do that bad.
I like how it's both 5.6 and 5.6.
Yeah, I think me and Lady Lee saved it.
Yeah, we kept it past failing.
Barely a pass.
Still a pass.
Next time we got to get Red Beard in a bikini.
Oh God!
Oh God! I want to see Greg in a bikini.
That would turn you on, wouldn't it?
It'd be a Greg Keeney.
Hey, I'll get a pineapple. I'll get a pineapple bikini just for Manly. He'll love it.
Male Lee is I believe working his way up to getting slapped in the face But
it just bugs me
the-
because like I literally spent I don't know how long like finally like getting out or getting rid of a bunch of stuff and getting through boxes because like I kept moving from place to place to place to the point where I gave up and I finally decided to start unpacking. So I've been like getting rid of stuff, moving stuff around. So when I hear these comments, it really fucking pisses me off. Like it's very frustrating.
if you only, you know, if you only hadn't decided to either stream exactly where you are or pile the stuff you're getting rid of right behind you, because I feel like if that pile of stuff in front of the board games wasn't there, it wouldn't seem as like cluttered. As it
How
does.
your place is arranged is perfectly fine. You just need to do what Nick does and just darken the background. See, Nick's the true hoarder here.
She just mentioned she
Can't see
just doesn't really have that ability. And
no.
Mel Lee, being the gentleman that he is, has apologized for his transgressions.
That's so nice.
Mhm.
As we literally see the steam rising from Lady Lee's head.
Yeah, that's why I like having this camera here with the lens that blows up the background.
Which is currently totally focused on the game that you shouldn't be streaming. Jesus Christ. Wasn't me.
All right, so I know that the magic question has been asked. Where is it?
It has.
Okay. And Lee is not on tonight, so he can verifiably ask away. So
You just
let's
say Lady
put
Lee is
me
not
up
on
here.
She's not here.
Yeah. Which we are going to do a beer that I think is available in Nova Scotia, but I'm not sure. Facts. That's right. What we wanted to do in January was to do some hobo beers, but we wanted to get some winter beer out of the way. We have another beer that's not a hobo beer that we want to get out of the way too, because more important than this, we're doing some hobo beers. We're going to do this next week. Another beer that's not a hobo beer. Then we're going to do another hobo episode in preparation of getting as drunk as we can before we do Dry February.
So we have
Plan
one
is Dry February
Before
again.
you do Dry February. Fuck that.
we have one that's not dry February. We have Fruity the first week because Dan agreed that he'll just pre-record it.
Oh yes. All right. I agree. And
Well, are we doing non-alcoholic all of February? Well, other than the first week.
I have
Don't
two
have to.
non-alcoholic beers.
That's up to you. Who's doing Dry February? I know Carrie just said he's not because he wasn't
Not
able
I
to make
this
it
year.
last year.
I wasn't not able to make it. I was like kind of doing it in support of you, and it was like whatever. Fucking it was.
Well, Ashley and Dan were doing it, so it's just like, well, I feel like shit for not doing it. And Greg was doing it.
I donate to whatever cause they ask me to whenever I go to the LCBO. They can
I have
fucking
NA beers, so I can do 2 weeks of NA beers.
Well, your option is that we don't do Dry February. I might still do the whole thing, but somebody might have to buy me tickets. Sponsor me for the entire month.
I'm apparently somewhat
Greg,
wealthy now. I can buy you tickets.
Greg will buy a ticket, and then Greg can buy one.
I'll buy Dan all the tickets because he wants.
Dan's not. Dan is officially he does not want to drink all month, so don't buy him tickets.
Yeah, no, but I want to tempt him anyway. So
he'll just take the extra money. So buy him the tickets.
Oh, no.
So he has the extra money and he won't use them.
I'll break Dan's will eventually.
Jesus. Well, I'm okay with tickets. So anyway,
Perfect. But yes, at least if we do 2
that.
weeks of NA beers for BA, I'd be very happy because they have 2 in the fridge, and I'd like to get rid of them.
Okay, yeah, we can just like do whatever, like, because I mean, being able to coordinate getting the same NA beer is going to be difficult.
I didn't even think I still got a couple NA beers from last year in the fridge. Oh yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I got a pile of old NA beers that left it over there too, but I'm not drinking those.
That's what I'm drinking for NA beers.
No. I think 3 of us we got to do an aged NA beer show. Come on.
Yeah, there we go.
I have one in the fridge is from last year, so
Nice.
it's going to be an aged NA beer.
Okay,
I got a ton of athletic NA beers.
Oh come on, Nick. Let's do an aged NA beer. It probably won't kill you.
Okay,
There
what
we
do you
go.
have
We could do
left
like
for
a new
aged?
one,
It'd
and
be
we
funny.
could do
We
an
can
aged
discuss this
one.
on offline, but what do you guys have for aged NA beers at this point?
I'd have to check what it was, but it
How
wasn't.
does
very
an
fresh,
aged hazy IPA last?
I have one.
Mine was the remnants of a 4-pack I bought. It was 2 of 2 different beers, and I drank 1 of each of them, so I still have 1 of each left, and they were both gross.
Oh.
I have 1 left from the one that I did last year. So, and then I bought a pack. I bought one this year when I did my order, and I was like, "This is a really expensive NA beer," but I was like, "Ah, fuck it, who cares? It's just the one that I needed." I found out it was a pack. I'm an idiot. How did I not?
Was that a sober carpenter?
It's a sober carpenter white.
Gross.
Now, this beer wasn't very good when it was fresh. So after a year of age,
we could do unintentionally aged NA beers.
I did want to.
We still have yet to do unintentionally aged normal beers.
Oh, we're gonna do that anyway.
I don't have any unintentionally aged normal beers.
Half of my fridge is that.
I do.
Right now.
Old shit at the
I
LCBO. Anyway, we're
I mean,
gonna
that
take
I
this
can do,
thing
yeah.
offline so that we can watch the game. Greg can do
What game?
whatever. How about okay? Well, there's actually comments here. So Dan says her needs somebody to stream the game again. I am. You will not break me, Greg. And how about NA beers that won beer awards? Oh wait, only one has done that. Anyway, we'll go back to ignoring Dan. So
Honestly,
thanks, Lee.
actually,
Thanks, Beer for Days. Cheers, buddy. Cheers, Paul. Maybe we'll see you in Discord. And cheers, Dan. So let's head offline and we'll talk to you folks next week for
Penis.
getting faxed.
Can I bring Fax 10% next week?
No, we're drinking PAX Premium. This is a
That's terrible.
We have the malt